So like a bunch of other people, I am completely enthralled with Kpop Demon Hunters and decided last minute that I wanted to cosplay as Rumi for Holiday Matsuri this year. And I just really wanted a super sparkly jacket. So I decided to start with that. So the first thing I did was drape some scrap fabric onto my mannequin to draw out a custom pattern. Personally, I'm not super comfortable with showing too much of my stomach, so I did decide to make the jacket a little longer, as well as the white top that goes underneath, which will be in a different video. But having a mannequin that is my size makes this super easy because the fit was almost perfect when I took it off the mannequin. Draping fabric on a mannequin is actually super easy. Your goal is to manipulate the fabric in such a way that it lays flat against all of the curves. I am playing around with the fabric, creating a dart and trying to decide if I wanted to have a dart there or a seam. I wound up turning it into a full seam. And then once I have fabric pinned the way that I want it, I just draw on with a standard pin where I want my pattern pieces to be. After I was happy with the front, I moved on to the back, which was a lot easier because there's far fewer curves to work around. And I decided to utilize a fun Victorian-inspired curved back seam, which you can kind of see here. Once I had everything the way I wanted it, I went ahead and drew on my pattern lines, and I made sure to label everything. The good part is you only have to do this for half since we'll mirror everything over. Once I had the pattern where I wanted it, I just cut off the excess fabric and then took everything off the mannequin so I could make a proper pattern, and then sew up a mock-up to test the fit. So I like the fit of the jacket overall. It looks really good. The sleeve hole, I think I want to widen it, and the sleeve is way too tight. So the best way to do that and keep my pattern correct is to go in where I want it, which I'm gonna mark best I can. I did struggle with the sleeve quite a bit, but I eventually got it the way that I wanted it. I wanted it to look kind of like a suit jacket. Once I had the mock-up the way I wanted it, I cut out all of the pattern pieces, laid them out onto my lining fabric, and cut it out. I did find this really neat fabric from moodfabrics.com. It's all female comic book musicians, which I thought was pretty nice. I was trying to find something that kind of looked like manga, and this was the best that I could find. It's also two-way stretch, which is interesting. It would make a really cute dress, I think. Putting out my lining, I pinned everything together and then decided to wait to sew it up, but instead cut out my fashion fabric, which is this gorgeous micro sequins. I have only worked with sequins once, and it destroyed my old sewing machine, and because I am too impatient to cut the sequins out of the seams, so I was really nervous to work with this time, and I'm really hoping it will not destroy my machine this go around. I am better set up to work with this fabric, I think. So I just laid out all of my pattern pieces on top of the sequins and cut them out again. Now this sequins fabric is a bit sheer, so I did have to line it with some black cotton. Okay, so after I sewed the sequins to the cotton, which is like this, the sleeve, said it was way too flimsy and I wanted it to be more jacket-like. I had some leftover canvas and I went ahead and added canvas to it as well, and I just sewed my first pieces together, and look at it, it is so pretty. I am a big fan of this curved back seam you see in a lot of Victorian wear. Normally it starts like somewhere in the sleeve and it's a more dramatic curve, but I started mine up on the shoulder to connect with the seam in the front. So I am so excited, and it has this nice sturdiness to it. So now I'm going to sew all the pieces of the front together and then try that part on and make sure that I like everything before I move on to the sleeves, because clearly we've got some trimming to do down here, but I think I'll just roll that up into the hem. But I'm super excited. I can't pin this though. My pins, I can hear threads snapping, and I'm terrified I'm going to destroy the sequins. So I am just sewing this on with my hands holding it in place and a prayer. So that is where we're at. I used a denim needle to work through the sequins. I was very careful to watch where any of the sequins flew when I was stitching, because when it stitches through the sequins, it does break the sequins and causes quite a mess. But I paid attention to where that was going and checked to see that the inner workings of my machine was actually sealed up tightly against them, and it was. And I think that this worked out really well, though I am terrified to sew with sequins, and I don't think I ever will not be terrified. So this may be the only sequin jacket I ever make, which is fine. I'll make it modular so I can wear it with more than one character. So I got the fronts, the backs, and the sides sewn together, and this is my first try on, and I am super excited because the fit is everything I wanted. This is my first custom drafted jacket that I have ever made. And there's still some things that need to happen. So this needs to roll in, which will give me some more room back here. So that's gonna roll in with the lining and get hidden. And I could bring in the sleeve a bit more. This is also going to get rolled in quite a bit when I attach the sleeve, so I think that is going to be solved. Also, you can see it kind of flips out a little bit, but this is all going to get rolled in and stitched to the inner lining, so I'm not worried about it. And of course, there's some length evening that I need to do, but I'm so incredibly proud. I'm still uncertain. You see how this hangs out a little bit from me? I could bring this in a bit in the middle to have it fit more closer to my back, but it seems like in the show it does hang away a little bit. And technically speaking, if I were to, so there it is, if I were to zip it up, then that would be solved. So I think it's kind of a combination of it doesn't, zip up, and the fact that I have cropped it. Now, technically speaking, it should probably be cropped a little bit more, but this is what I'm comfortable with. And this opening needs to be opened more. So I'm going to use the way I'm going to do the lining is how I'm going to bring this in. I wanted to make sure it closed all the way so that I could open it up to where I feel comfortable. I have to tell you, I have not one, which I hope it's showing up. I know it's very black, but I have not one, but two blessed seams. Behold the crosses of the sewing gods, because I pulled that off, which was incredibly difficult with how thick the fabric is all stacked together with the canvas, the cotton, and the sequin. I am so excited for this. Next, I decided to go ahead and do the hemming. So I just used some Wonder Clips to fold over the edge and hold it in place because pins were not going to work here. And then I whip stitched all of the raw edges to hold them in place. After that, it was time to work on the sleeves. I sewed everything together without the canvas lining, so just the cotton and the sequin fabric, and then sewed those directly onto the jacket. So ignore my super red bare face, but I just finished sewing on the sleeves, and this is my first time trying it on since I hemmed everything and got the sleeves attached, and I wanted to do it on camera. She's a little stiff, but I know super awesome dancing in this, but it feels kind of like how a suit jacket feels. That's fair because I made the sleeves like a suit jacket, but the seams underneath are also blessed seams. So this entire jacket, everywhere there is a cross seam, I was able to pull off blessed seams. So happy with the fit, it was time to move on to the lining. So I sewed all of the lining together, essentially making a second jacket completely out of the lining fabric. Can we just take a moment to appreciate that my project was once again blessed with these beautiful seams? I turned that inside out and stuffed it into the sequin jacket, lining up all of the seams as best I could, and then clipped those all into place. Rolling in the raw edges so they were hidden between the jacket and the back of the lining. So this is a lining technique called fell lining, where you add in the lining after the jacket is essentially complete and all of the jacket raw edges are folded in. So you have to make sure that you roll everything in on the lining just right so that there's no bagginess to it. This is my favorite way of lining things. I think it's so much easier and cleaner to do than bag lining, but that's just me. There is a particular kind of hand stitch that goes with this type of lining called a fell stitch, which creates a nice, clean, almost hidden stitch all the way around the edge of the fabric. And with that, I tried on my finished jacket, and I am so happy with how it turned out. It's so sparkly and comfortable. Unfortunately, I did make this like a real jacket. It's a little warm to wear, so not bad in a cooler convention, but I'm very excited about that. And now it's time to move on to the white top, which I have already started. So very excited to share this with you. If you like this video, make sure to hit the like button, make sure to subscribe for more content from me. And with that, I will see you in my next video. Bye!